3HL 104.5 The Zone. We continue our broadcast at Radio Row thanks to lots of fine companies, and we certainly appreciate all of the help from them and you guys listening. MJ Frick, one of those fine companies. You can check out more information, 1045thezone.com. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport, Ron Slay, super agent Leigh Steinberg sitting at the table now. Leigh, good to see you, man. How are you?
I'm doing just peachy.
How crazy is Super Bowl week for you in terms of managing clients, networking to get new clients? You throw a big party, then the game happens. How is this for you?
Well, last year on Radio Row, I ended up doing 70 talk radio.
Oh, my gosh.
So that'll be a little bit crazy. And tomorrow I'm giving a keynote at an anti-fentanyl project that's helping teens with that.
Okay.
And then we have the party on Saturday that where we're raising money for Special Olympics. We've got a poker tournament with Jamie Gold and Phil Hellmuth. We have humanitarian awards we give to the president of the Chicago Bears. We're doing displays of new modalities of healing like stem cells and hyperbaric oxygen. We've got our concussion seminar, which will be about the 30th, where you have neurologists talking about prevention, awareness, and cure. And there are actually some new breakthroughs now that, through the theory of neuroplasticity, can heal an already concussed or hurt brain, can rewire the brain. And one of them is called RTMS, and the other is nest-free brain training. Wow. So we have a lot of fun, but it's also a platform for charity and doing good.
Leigh Steinberg with us on 3HL. For those that don't know the movie Jerry Maguire, based on you, how did that come about?
It was 1993, and Cameron Crowe, writer-director,
incredibly talented,
had written a book called Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Yeah.
That ended up a funny movie, and he asked if he could follow me and go where I went for a couple of years or a year to pick up atmosphere about a sports agent. And he came with me to the league meetings in Palm Desert where I was showing off free agents, and he came to the draft where Drew Bledsoe was the first pick, and then he came up to the press conference we had with Bill Parcells, and he came to games, he came to my Super Bowl parties, he came, and he was like a fly on the wall. Sometimes I introduced him to people, sometimes he just sat back and took notes. And then he went off and wrote a script, and I was technical advisor, so my job was to vet the script to make sure the willing suspension of disbelief that holds you in a motion picture didn't get fractured. You didn't think the dialogue was phony or the look was phony. And then he assigned me actors like Cuba Gooding Jr., who I took down to the Phoenix Super Bowl, and I made him pretend he was my wide receiver client all week. He hung out with Desmond Howard and Amani Toomer. And I actually had to show the quarterback in the film, played by Jerry O'Connell, how to throw a spiral because he had gone to NYU and they don't have a football program.
Oh my gosh.
So anyway, it's been 26 years now, and last night as I flew into Las Vegas, somebody did what they do every time I'm in public, which is run up and either say 4 words or ask me to say the 4 words to start with, show me the
money.
Show me the money. So you were technical advisor for the script, so you knew that, what this was going to be. But until you see it, you really don't, right? So the first time you saw it, what was your reaction?
It was sort of shocking because, I had told Cameron a series of stories about my own life and things that happened, and I won't say what got replicated and what didn't, but there's a lot of life up there on the screen.
Wow.
That's incredible. Because everybody loves that movie.
Man,
right?
what? Classic.
Yeah.
Instant.
I'm pretty sure at least once a month we quote something out of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, at least once a month on this show.
Was it a challenge for you and him from the creative side, and you wanting to stay true to what actually that life is like? Was there a challenge with that?
I think it's I think the accuracy is excellent. except for one scene. Rod Tidwell, the Cuba Gooding Jr. character, gets concussed at the end of a game, and about 30 seconds later, he's up jumping around. Now, that was that's not happening.
Maybe a little questionable,
right?
Yeah.
But by and large, he caught the heart. He caught the essence of how there's real caring in a relationship between someone who represents athletes and their clients, how it's not all about the money.
Do you have a favorite past client or current client that you just love working with?
Well, I think Patrick Mahomes has got some potential.
How about just a little bit?
He's all right.
But over time, Warren Moon and I went through 23 years together over his career, and that started at a time where racism was sort of endemic in the way they viewed the quarterback position, and watched that evolve over time. And he's an amazing role model with charities at his high school, college, Crescent Moon. So we went through a long run.
I mean, he's in the Canadian Football League Hall of Fame, the College Football Hall of Fame, the NFL Hall of Fame.
And probably...
And to your point, that was a process, all of that.
Right. And probably, if you ask me, the highlight of my career would be presenting Warren Moon, being his presenter in Canton at the Hall of Fame.
So
cool. So you can do a number of things that are sort of fun doing this. The question is, how many players do you have a Hall of Fame? And that's 12.
Wow.
And then do you have the starting quarterback in the Super Bowl, which is, I think we've got 11. And then the other question is, could you represent the first pick in the draft, the very first pick overall? We've done that 8 times.
Wow.
See, these are all great questions that people other than me would ask because I love that movie so much. So I apologize about that part. But Taylor Swift going to be at your party? Is she going to be in from Japan for that?
If she is, we're not announcing
anybody. Nobody's listening. It's just Nashville.
Nashville, the hottest city in America.
How about that?
Are you moving there?
No, I live in Southern California, and everyone's talking about Nashville. It's all happening in Nashville.
Yeah.
It's the place to be.
We probably had 1 million people move in from California to
Nashville.
Exactly. It's crazy. Patrick Mahomes, how special is that guy? That we know what we see, and we understand 28 years old and all this success and all of those things, but what don't we know about him?
How grounded he is, how caring he is, how conscious of other people's feelings he is, how he doesn't make the whole thing about him. It's about a lot of people around him, and he's a warm and caring guy, and his charitable foundation does a tremendous amount of good. But he stayed grounded through the experience. So the point is, it's all swirling around him, but he's not substituting that for his real life.
How hard is that you've seen so many players at the top of their game, and represented them and know them well. How hard is that part of the game for some players? Like, obviously Patrick is doing a great job at handling it,
I think people ask all the time, did we know it would be this good? And the answer to that was yes. Mm-hmm. Did we know it would happen this fast? No. And so I think when you're talking adjustment, the hardest part is to go out your first season of starting at quarterback and you're MVP of the league. So that's a rather rapid change in status. Yeah. And but he stayed grounded, and he's still hungry. You mentioned he was 28. Tom Brady was 45 when he stopped playing. Yeah. That would mean 17 more years of Mahomes.
Oh, my gosh. I don't know if all the other fan bases can handle that. Yeah.
Oh, man, that's probably 12, 13 more Super Bowls? I don't know. Oh, yeah. Well, maybe 17.
Shoot, at the rate that he's going, it'll be like 16 or 17. So.
Do you enjoy watching the game? Sorry.
You go.
Do you enjoy watching the game? The actual Super Bowl?
Absolutely. It's fun. It's sometimes they can't cheer openly. Right? Yeah. I have to be disciplined. We have
players
on the other team. But look, being a winning quarterback in the Super Bowl takes a player from being a very high-profile football player to being a household name. Nothing has a more dynamic effect because we have a celebrity-making machine in this country that consists of early morning talk shows, late morning talk shows, People Magazine, us, all of that. And that's what happens when a player breaks out. So I was telling, somebody asked me the other day what it was like for Troy Aikman. And we were sitting in the car coming back from his first Super Bowl win. And I said, do you know what just happened? He said, yeah, we won the game. I said, no, Troy, you entered the game as Troy Aikman, a very good quarterback. You came out Troy Aikman, superstar. And it happens that quick.
How endearing is that relationship with client to agent, and how much is it different as far as when the playing career is over? Like, a lot of people don't know how that bond is. Like, I've been done playing since 16, and me and my agent still have a great relationship and talk at least once a month. How much does that help in cultivating that relationship with you as an agent?
So I think the real key is listening skills. It's being able to draw out another human being, couple of the surface responses, and get to how someone feels in a value sense about short-term economic gain, long-term economic security, family, spiritual considerations. And you really need to know that person as they are, not as I wish them to be, but as they are. And if you can do that, if you can bond at that deep emotional level, then you go through these really bonding experiences. I mean, it's you and the athlete against the draft, right? It's you and the athlete against the world in many senses. So you don't have to prove your relationship any other way because it's been tested through scouting, the draft, the first contract, the pro career, and Warren Moon's still one of my best friends.
Yeah.
Leigh Steinberg, appreciate the time. Always good to see you, my friend. Have a great rest of the week.
My pleasure. We're partying on Saturday.
There you go.
Get to the
and
Nashville,
hopefully
too.
Sunday, right?
With or without Taylor Swift. There's Leigh Steinberg. 3HL more next on 104.5 The Zone.